the salvage mission worked in the end. How pleased are you to come away with here with a point in the circumstances?
Yeah, definitely a point away from home. The form we've been on, I say it's a little bit quieter than you'd probably imagine in the dressing room. I think that's because of the results we've been getting and the standards the players have been setting. But yeah, listen, it's a good point in the end from when we scored, and it probably shows a lot about the group, that the way we had to fight to get control of that game, which, you know, because we weren't at our best with the ball, we couldn't win the ball back as high as we normally do. And after a good start, to go behind to a deflected goal meant that they're good players, if you like, who were good on the counter. It was set up perfect for them, and that sort of caused us a bit of problem, a bit of trouble. And I think we had to accept then that the game was going to be end-to-end and embrace that and sort of make it a bit of a messy game, because we had backers against anyone when the game gets stretched, and I think that's how we got back into the game, bit by bit. Second half, where you get on top, start building pressure, momentum, chances, and then we got the one in the end that we needed.
Because QPR made a real fist of it, didn't they? They were sweeping forward with great regularity at times.
Yeah, as soon as we see the team, we've got Dykes as a 9, then Tyler Roberts, Chair and Willock. They may be a little bit loose in the defending, but they're going to be so quick and the countering. And when you fall behind against them, as we saw at Bramall Lane, it makes it tricky. But yeah, we always felt on the bench, we always felt we'd score. Probably that belief dwindles maybe a little bit as it's going 92nd, 93rd minute, but yeah, I thought it was deserved in the end, and as I said, it probably shows a lot about the group.
Why do you think that some of the things that Sheffield United fans have seen on the road today just perhaps weren't there to begin with?
We're not going to listen. If we could do it every week, we'd be top of the league by a mile. We know it's not going to happen. You may say it all the time that going to be ups and downs, and the good thing about us, as today shows, is we limit the downs by how we fight and how we compete. And the lads embrace the changes, whether it's, you know, when we go a little bit more attacking, it puts a little bit more emphasis on certain players, but they're aware of that and they know how to deal with it. Yeah, and we sort of listen. There was good moments in that when we went to the diamond, because we got the outside midfielders on it more. And Illiman didn't make the most of those slick bits of play, if you like, but what they did was get us up the pitch, allow us to inset plays, the throw-ins, and as I said, we built the momentum and the pressure, and then it paid off in the end.
And John Egan, I mean, 2 now for the season. That for him is almost prolific.
Yeah, but he's in the box enough. It's a big part of what we do, set plays. We also know that generally they put their best marker on him, so we know that and he knows that. But certainly last season he had umpteen chances, how he attacked the ball. He's had a few this season, but not as many. But he's already scored more goals, which is great. So that's what we want, and I'll be trying to get some more between now and the end of the season.
In terms of level of fitness, where's Jayden Bogle at then right now?
Getting better and better. You can see him now. He's match fit. If we were to set him off with a run now with the lads, if it was pitch run or whatever it was, he'd probably be at the front. He's naturally fit, aerobic. It's just the games he needs. You could see that after 60 minutes the other night, he just started flagging a little bit and blowing, and that'll come with minutes. That's why we've got to play him. And I'm a big believer in that. You get your form and your fitness when you're playing games. So yeah, he'll get better and better the more he gets on the pitch, like he did today.
Max Lowe wasn't in the match day squad. Obviously a bit of a side strain. How serious is that?
Not too. I mean, when George had one, I can't remember where George got it, but Max did it. I don't know if you remember Blackpool. He'd not been on long and he made a tackle and twisted, and it was then. So yeah, George, I think it was 10 days or so, something like that. So yeah, we're hoping Lowe will be good for the cup game.
And of the players, well, obviously apart from the long-term ones that were the nearlies, might they be available for the cup match?
We hope so, because it'd be a good way to get them back in the squad and introduce them and get some minutes. But likewise, on the flip side of that, it's also not worth the risk if they're not quite there. You know, we want this squad. I'd love to have it all available, ready to go, and we'll get there, as I say. So yeah, bit by bit they're coming back. Ben's been running, Ollie's stepping up from his ankle injury. So yeah, bit by bit they're coming back.
Osborne's one that's been nearly for a while now. What's the next step?
Listen, you know me right now, Gids. I say nearly because I'm not going to tell the next manager he's out. So it don't matter how many times you ask me, you're going to get the same type of answers.
Is he going to play again this season?
Yeah.
Speaking of being ready to go, in terms of pushing buttons on deals, incomes, outcomes, what, etc., how likely is that between now and the 14th?
Yeah, I just want to keep the lads together. That's it. That's the priority. That's what we need to do. So that's it. That's my focus. That's my goal. And if you were talking to me on the 1st of Feb and it's as is, I'd be delighted.